Erika, Sciascia, thank you so much for joining us and for contributing to this platform. You have so much to share. Please tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for inviting me to your beautiful home. It's beautiful. Thank you for letting me share my story. I am Erika Shasha. I am a mother of two wonderful young boys. Cash, 12 years old, Knox, 10. Married almost 15 years to this amazing, amazing God-given human, Rick. It's almost been 15 years and it's just been quite a ride. I also have two furry babies, Tito Bear, who is a golden doodle, and Asia, a black lab, and those right there are my support system.
Oh, I love
And
that.
they're my joy and they're my pride. I am a teacher. I'm a preschool teacher. I've been doing it for going on 6 years now. And it's not for the faint of heart. It is not easy. And at the same time, it brings you joy, like inside, it's like such what's the word to use? It's such
Fulfilling.
fulfilling.
Yes.
Yes, it's such a
Yes.
fulfilling job.
hmm
And it has gotten me through some tough times in my life, being there and being around those babies. And it's amazing, what a job can do to you and to your existence. And it actually has, as you may know, I'm a cancer survivor. It has helped me go through some rough patches, even though my doctors have told me, you cannot see the babies, they're full of germs, you cannot touch them, you cannot be around them. I go there almost like every day to see and say hi and, you know, help me mentally.
Wow. How long have you and your family lived in Nevada?
So, I would say on and off 10 years, we would go to different states. We moved to Hawaii. We moved to California, to Salt Lake City. We moved all over the place, but somehow we always ended up coming back home to Nevada, to Las Vegas, really. This is home to us. We couldn't think of any other places to be in, like
Right.
Las Vegas.
It's a great place. I mean, I remember when I first moved here to Las Vegas 21 years ago, and I was fresh out of high school, and I was like, I just can't imagine raising a family here because most people think of Las Vegas, they think of the
The
strip,
strip, they don't
right?
know. Yeah.
And the reputation that it has. But after living here for so long, you realize there's great communities that are family oriented. And when I met my husband, he's someone who was born and raised here, and I felt like that also helped me to meet someone who was a
A
local,
local.
and then your association expands and you meet more people who are from here and have that homegrown type of feel. So it did change my perspective on Las Vegas. But now, I mean, I've lived in Las Vegas more longer than anywhere
I know.
I've
And
ever
I
lived.
feel
Yeah.
like, if you've never lived in Las Vegas, you don't really know. Like,
Yeah.
people think you're neighbors with Frank Sinatra,
Yeah.
It
Right.
could easily be, you don't know, but it's just crazy. When you're in your little community, you don't even realize that you live in Las Vegas
Right.
unless you go drive down the strip.
That's true. That's right.
So I'm like, this is my little community. This is my home. If I want to go be outside of my home, I'll go to Las Vegas. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
It,
right.
it's a great community. It's very diverse, and everything I have back home in the Philippines, I was born and raised in the Philippines,
Okay.
so everything I have back there, I can find here.
Right.
So I don't miss home as much, even though a lot of my family are at home. I don't miss it as much because everything that I can get there, I can get here now.
Right. That's
It's amazing.
Do you go back and visit them often?
I do. We just went there last December, actually. We went to Tokyo, and I took the boys to Tokyo, Disneyland, and then we went to the Philippines and stayed there for like 3 weeks during Christmas break. And the boys love it. They love the culture. They love family. I have such a big family,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they want to go back and they want to stay there for forever.
That's great, and especially that they're at the ages that they are, to have had travel like that in their life. That's a big impact.
It
It
is.
makes a difference
It
and an
is.
impact.
And
So
it shows them what a wonderful life they actually have. We're not in any way, shape, or form rich. But if you see these places in the Philippines and how it is here and how you live your life here,
Right.
it's crazy.
It makes you
The
feel
difference.
yeah,
It gives you a different perspective.
absolutely. I know that you've been a preschool teacher for how many years now?
Going on 6.
6 years.
Yeah.
And in that time, you were diagnosed with cancer. Tell us about your cancer journey and what that was like.
So it was back in October, actually a little before then, beginning of October. I was watching, as everybody knows, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, right? So of course, there's so much commercials and ads and TV shows happening during that month, right? And one time it's crazy because we had just gotten our golden doodle, Tio. He was tiny, right? So because he had to go potty outside, I had to sleep downstairs on the couch with him because it's easier to take him out. Anyway, I was watching a commercial while I was waiting for him, and then it says, feel yourself, make sure that you're feeling it monthly, once a month to make sure that there's nothing going on. So I'm like, okay, out of nowhere, I just started feeling around, my breast area, right? And I felt this little lump, so little, like a pea-sized lump. So I'm like, oh, shoot, what is that?
Oh, no.
Right? So, and it's because of a commercial, right? So what is that? So immediately, and my husband at that time, he was in Colorado. So I'm alone with puppies and 2 boys, and it's not easy.
Freaking out.
I was freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I called him right away and I was like, okay, I felt a lump on my left breast. What do I do? And he goes, well, I'm gonna call your OB. At that time, I don't really see my OB unless I need a procedure done.
Right.
Right. So we immediately called the OB. I got in, and they were like, "Oh, it's probably nothing. It's probably just a tissue and this and that." So they just dismissed it. But I know my body.
Yes.
I know what it feels like. So I had to fight for it. First of all, you need to do something else. We need to check it. I'm not just gonna say it's just a tissue, whatever. So she sent me to get a mammogram, and then once I had the mammogram, they said, okay, you're gonna need an ultrasound.
Mm,
So immediately I'm like, oh no, something is wrong.
right.
So as soon as I got the ultrasound, the same day I went in at October 28th of 2021, and that same day they know, even though without doing a biopsy yet, they knew immediately that it's cancer. The doctor had told me I'm 99% positive it's cancer. It's not 100 because there's no biopsy done yet, but I could pretty much say you have cancer. And I was by myself because again, my husband is in town then, but he had to get the kids from school and this and that. So I went by myself thinking it's nothing, right?
Right.
And then I was told I have cancer, and I'm like, holy shoot,
Yeah.
now what? And immediately, as a cancer patient, survivor, whatever, the thing that goes in your mind first is, am I gonna die?
Mm-hmm.
What about my kids?
Right.
I have little boys.
Yeah.
I can't die. And you're alone in this office, in this doctor's office, right? And the doctor was nice enough. She was hugging me and giving me water and tissue and this and that. But I called my husband right away. And so when I got home that day, they hugged me, of course, and we sat on the couch and we just cry and cry and cry. And then the next day, we went to my favorite restaurant and buy me a new shoes. Because that's what makes me happy. My husband would never buy me an expensive shoes, right? But I told him, let's go to Balenciaga real quick.
Right.
And he was like, you want it, buy it.
Yeah. I want the shoes.
I want new shoes. So yes, I did use the cancer card for new shoes.
So what stage of cancer were you diagnosed at?
So I was diagnosed with a stage 2B breast cancer. It's ER/PR positive, HER2 negative. So the doctor, my oncologist, she's amazing. She told me I had to do 16 rounds of chemo, 30 days of radiation, and a bunch of surgeries, and I did that. The chemo. There's two different kinds of chemo that I did. One is harder than the other, but both of them, they're not easy. And the side effects and the losing my hair. I was bald, and I feel like for me, it's harder being bald than anything else. It's amazing what your hair can do to you. Like I've always had long, silky hair. You've seen me before, and I've always loved it. So when I found out that I'm gonna lose my hair, I'm I'm more worried about that than getting sick or throwing up or all the side effects. I'm more worried about losing the hair than anything else. It's crazy.
Well, it's part of your identity and your femininity, and you feeling a woman feeling beautiful about herself. So I could see where if I was in that position, I feel like I would have the exact same
Yeah.
response to.
And being in the cancer community, I feel like there's so many of us women that our hair is our like crown of glory,
Yeah,
and it hurts that you lose that because you have to get better.
right.
I mean, of course, you're gonna do whatever it
Of
takes,
course.
right?
Yes.
But it hurts. It's painful emotionally.
Yes. What was when you were talking about going through the two different types of chemo? What was that experience like for you to personally go through that? What were you experiencing? And then what was that like for your family to watch you go through that?
I think the other than losing the hair, the hardest part is watching my kids be scared and my husband be scared and at the same time feel helpless. Because if you know my family and you know my boys, my husband, they do everything for me. They take it away if they could, my husband in particular. And so it's hard watching them watch me in pain. Because when after chemo, the side effect of it doesn't really come on till like 2 days later or a day later. It depends on people and it depends on everybody and different people. But for me, it normally happened 2 days later. And so there's body pain because you have to take some other medications for some other medications to work better. It's complicated, right? So there's body pain, there's nausea, you just feel like crap and you just feel like you got hit by a bus. And you can't get up and you can't do anything. And the doctor said, this battle with cancer is more for you, it's harder to fight it mentally than it is physically. And although it's hard physically, it's the mental battle that I have to still to this day that I have to do every single day,
Right.
because the fear of it coming back. And
Right.
there's just so much that runs in your brain that scares you because you have little kids, you have little boys and you have this family and you want to be a part of it for as long as possible. But with cancer, things change.
Absolutely. Now you are completely cancer free right now.
Yes, I am.
Okay. But there is the risk of it returning. What is the risk?
Well, right now, my chances, because I haven't been in remission for more than 5 years, right? And my one of my doctor had told me that after 5 years of being in remission, my chances of cancer is the same as a woman like you or her of it coming back.
Okay.
So I'm like waiting for that 5 year mark
Right.
to have a normal, existence, I guess is the word.
Okay. How has having had cancer changed the way you live your life now?
You know, it's gonna sound so cliche, everybody says it, but it's like it gave me a different perspective in life. It seems like the clouds or the sky is brighter, and people say that all the time. And when you had a moment in your life where you felt like, am I ever gonna do this again? Is this ever gonna happen again? Everything changes, and you're happier, you're more grateful, and you just want to live it the best possible way you know how. That's why we went to the Philippines and we've always wanted to go to Tokyo Disneyland because we're a big Disneyland lover. We went to Disneyland. We're living the life we should have been living to begin
Before,
with,
right? Yeah,
because cancer suck, but you cannot just not live your life. And it changes you big time, as crazy as it sounds. Cancer changed my life and made me live better.
Oh, I love that. I think that's such a great message because we only do have this one life and we can get so caught up in trying to make a living that we forget to actually live
Live.
our life. And
Exactly.
it's amazing how events like that or the death of somebody can bring that perspective to people. I know that you had mentioned that there's so many people who are support to you and even an organization specifically that helped you.
I'm a member of this organization called Las Vegas Breast Cancer Warriors. They have probably 600 members, and this is just in Las Vegas, right? 600 members. And Anna Marie is the founder, and the support that she gave people that's going through it is just crazy. Like from maternity bra to fake boobs to everything you could possibly need to a wig, or just a mental support, or you just need someone to talk to, you can go to them and ask them. We have this Facebook page. There's the 600 and something members, and we just post things in there if you have any random question, and there's no judgment. It's just such a community of women who knows exactly what you're experiencing.
Right.
Also, I want to add to that is my babies, the classroom that I have and the babies that I've always had. There's this one video. I call her Giggles. That's not her real name, but I call her Giggles. And when I was going through chemo, her mom showed me a video of her in the corner, in the step, praying, asking God to take Miss Shasha's boo boo away. Like, how can God not answer that? From a 2-year-old baby, and she was on the corner. God, please take Mishasha's boo boo away so she can go back to us. Of course, God would answer that. Like, how do you not answer it? And there's so many stories like that. Little kids, little babies, my boss, my coworkers, my family, my in-laws, everybody. Family in the Philippines, people I don't even know about. This community that I'm a part of, Las Vegas Breast Cancer Warriors, they pray for you and they think about you and they want you to get better. And it's hard not to get better when you have a support system as strong as I have.
Right.
My school, they came up with fundraising event to help me pay with my medical bills because as we all know, medical bills are not cheap, right? And that's going to take a toll on my family. So my coworkers, the amazing people where I work at, they decided to put up a fundraising event long time ago and help me pay my bills.
What advice would you give somebody who's either going through their cancer battle or who has a family member?
It's a long, 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 dark tunnel. It really is. There's no way, shape, or form it's easy. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun. There's nothing about it, that says, yay, I have cancer. None. But just like every other tunnel, there's a light at the end of it. You have to keep going. You have to reach that end of the tunnel and see that light because at the end of the light is the life you've always wanted to live. So you just have to make sure that you have strong, good company and some snacks along the way.
That's right.
To get to the end of that tunnel because you can do it. You can do it. Just don't give up. My kids would always say, my mommy is not a giver upper. I'm not. So keep going.
Absolutely. I love that so much. The power of your inner circle, the people who you keep closest to you, those are sometimes the ones who can believe in you and fight for you more than maybe you might be able to do it for yourself in moments. But then that also gives you the motivation to continue fighting yourself because how tight that inner circle is. On the subject of women of strength, what is a woman of strength to you?
Well, that's an interesting question. Like I think about it, women of strength. What does that really mean? And for me, like, is it a woman choosing natural childbirth? Is it a woman like me battling, mental part of the cancer every day? Is it somebody running 10 miles in under 1 hour? I don't know, but I feel like all of those are a woman of strength, but at the same time, it's because of their perseverance. It's women who perseveres and does not stop. You keep going no matter what, because life is gonna throw some really hard things on you, and it's inevitable. It's gonna happen. But what you do with it as a woman, as mothers like us, we keep going. There's no such thing as giving up. So if you are, no matter what you're going through, and you're just keeping on going, you're strong. There's no denying that.
100%. And you are absolutely through and through a woman of strength
Thank you.
and a complete warrior to battle something like what you've been through and come out of it with such a beautiful perspective is I think a great example to set not only for your family, for your boys to see that, but also for young ladies to be able to see that. And you're in the care of young kids in your profession. And what a great person to uh, have taken care of them. You
Thank you.
just are
Thank you.
you're a
That's very sweet of you.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
a beautiful example.
And I have to say, I am strong because of the woman that was in my life that showed me what strong is, and
Yeah,
that's my aunt. She had cancer a while ago. Unfortunately, she's not with us anymore, but she has taught me that this is not going to stop me from living my life.
right,
Yeah, I have cancer, but so what? Unfortunately, she didn't win the battle, but
right.
I won it for her.
Obviously, part of the reason why we're sitting here today is not only to give you the opportunity to share your story and your message, but also the Women of Strength podcast series came about because of the Mrs. Nevada America pageant. And part of my platform is Women of Strength in doing this. I thought it was important to highlight the women in my personal local community or whoever else has the opportunity to share. Through this journey, what I'm realizing is that it's not a beauty contest where we're comparing whose looks better than or it's not about that. It really truly is about number one for women to do something for themselves and to be able to contribute through causes or charities, anything that they want to champion. And they have now the ability, a platform to be able to bring awareness and shine a light on that, which I think is a beautiful thing to be able to. When you consider the history of pageantry, and there's many different organizations, I'm learning so much. The history of pageantry and every single person, lady who has competed in the pageant, and each one of them represents something every single year for how many years now?
Yeah.
Well, you cannot measure the amount of positive impact that that has made in not only their community, but it's a state level and it's a national level. There's even organizations, it goes to the world. There's a Mrs. World and there's a Miss Universe. Would you ever consider competing in the Mrs. Nevada America pageant?
Oh my gosh. I never thought of it. I never thought of it that way. I don't feel like I have what it takes. I don't know. I would never say never, of course, but it just hasn't come to my mind. But although I am a big fan of pageants, the Miss Universe, us Filipinos, we love the Miss Universe. Like it's and there's quite a few Filipinas that made the Miss Universe,
Absolutely.
right? So I'm like, ooh, I want to see this. Ooh, I want to see what's going on, but I've never thought of me being in that stage. I
Right.
don't just
Did you even know there was a Mrs. division out?
no,
Yeah. See,
no. I'm only learning it from you now.
most people I've talked to are saying the same thing.
Yeah,
And I'm like, okay, this is a great thing for married women. I always thought it was more just for young women who'd never been married, no kids, and
yeah.
the fact that they've
No
opened this up.
stretch marks.
Yeah, exactly. None of
Yeah.
that stuff. But the fact that they've opened it up and created a whole division for married women,
It's amazing.
it's a beautiful thing. And your response to that was, I don't know if I have what it takes. I think that that is something that every woman would cross it. I'm sure there's some women who are like, "Oh, I know." Do you have what it takes? Absolutely. I think that you would be a great candidate for somebody to compete in a
You.
pageant.
Thank you.
And that's the thing that I want most women to know is that everyone is born with strengths and weaknesses. We all bring something to the table, something that we do better than others, but the same is for the woman across from you. And we can celebrate each other's strengths and not feel threatened by them. I wanted to help cultivate more of a community of women who build each other up.
And we need more of that. And this is why I'm so grateful that you asked to interview me and share my story, because if I can just have one woman out there do a mammogram, and save her life, then I've done my job.
Yeah,
Sharing my story is not easy. It always gets me crying and stuff, but if it's going to help some women out there and, help them know that there's a way out of it, just don't give up, then I've done my part in my community.
beautiful. Erica, I'm so grateful that you came here today. Thank you for sharing your story and for contributing to this
Thank you.
platform.
Thank you for
You're a
inviting
beautiful
me.
person.
You are beautiful.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.